Thanks for joining day 4 of our lesson 9 question of the week. Why do ecosystems matter? We will be reading our text that is Geology of the Deep, which is a Newsela article. So here it is, Geology of the Deep, the ecosystems created by volcanoes. Just wanted to point out the skill we're going to work on today, and that is I can use key details to write a main idea statement. So we will be identifying main idea and details. We will also be asking you to have 2 pieces of text evidence from Geology of the Deep that answer the question, why do ecosystems matter, or why are ecosystems valuable, things like that. First, you're going to read the text. So pause the YouTube video to read up to this point. Next, pause the YouTube video to read this point. Pause the YouTube video here. And pause the YouTube video here. Now that you've read this text, just like I have, we are going to practice finding the main idea and details of a section that will lead us to be able to summarize it in a nonfiction article. So this is a real article. These things are not made up, so not fake, nonfiction. And so we need to be able to find what is this section mainly about and details that answer it. Okay, so I'm going to reread volcanic island ecosystems first and follow along with me. Formed from nothing but rock, volcanic islands have surprisingly lively ecosystems. These ecosystems evolve over millions of years, along with the island itself. Life on volcanic islands starts with tiny organisms called bacteria. They are the most basic forms of life. Species from nearby landforms also contribute to the developing ecosystem. Passing birds might stop to nest on the new island. They might bring seeds from the mainland or other islands. Plant life can float through the ocean to end up on the ocean's shores. Since they evolve in such an isolated environment, many organisms are considered to be endemic species. That means they are native to a particular area. The finches endemic to the Galapagos Islands are one famous example of this. These birds are found only in the isolated Galapagos. The Hawaiian Islands are even more isolated. They have more than 1,000 endemic plant species. Now, whenever we summarize nonfiction text, there's a lot of details we could choose to include, and it's possible that that other people will have different summaries than you, but they're still going to talk about basically the same thing. So when finding the main idea, what is most of this about? I'm looking at this first sentence. Formed from nothing but rock, volcanic islands have some surprisingly lively ecosystems. So the main idea that this is going to talk about is the lively ecosystems of these volcanic islands. And I could even make a question. And when I make this into a question, it could help me to look for details that back it up. So let's try to make this into a question. So if I make it a main idea, our main idea is volcanic island ecosystems are lively. But I can make it a question that can help me find details. So any details down here that could prove the main idea. Why are volcanic island ecosystems lively? So I'm going to look right now for details that could back that up. Okay, this is going to talk about bacteria. Okay, I just don't know if that's exactly showing me that that's why they're lively, but I could include something about bacteria. But I do have a detail here that species from nearby landforms also contribute to the developing ecosystem. And let's just get more specific. What are the species that are contributing? They're talking about birds. And what do the birds do? Okay, so the birds might bring seeds from the mainland or other islands. Is there any other way that nearby landforms contribute to the ecosystem? Is this last sentence important? Yes, I think that's also important, that things can float to the island. Both of these two things are contributing to the fact that the ecosystem is lively, and they can be used to answer that. is there anything down here that could be a detail that would answer this question? I also think that they have a lot of endemic species, and so I could highlight multiple sentences here. I could highlight this last sentence, I could highlight this first sentence, but I think I have the main idea and detail so far, and I think that can help me to write a summary. So now I'm going to write a summary. My summary that I wrote from my highlights. Volcanic island ecosystems are surprisingly lively. That's just my main idea. Seeds are brought to the island from birds, and plants can float to the island. Over time, islands have shown to have many species that are found only there, which are endemic. Let's try to do that again with this section that is called World's Youngest Island. So I'm going to let you try first, and then I'll show you what I have. Please try to find the main idea, try to make it into a question like I did, and that can help you find the details. And then try to write a summary. I'll show you my main idea and details in 3, 2, 1. So far I'm looking at the top, I'm looking for a main idea, and it said that there was a volcanic eruption, so I made a question, what effect did this eruption have in order to create this youngest island? So now I'm looking for details. So here are the details that I found, that Hunga Hoapai is now nearly double the original size that it was, because it says what effect did this eruption have. So now it's double the size. Another effect is the ash devastated the ecosystem, so the ecosystem got buried in hot ash, and now there's not a lot of life. And they also went on to say that it's unclear if the island will remain. So what effect? We don't know if that's going to be a permanent effect. It seems like it might erode, but so far it has maintained its sea level. So now I'm going to use these details to write a summary. Please write your summary first. I'll show you mine in 3, 2, 1. A volcanic eruption covered Hunga Hapai in ash. The island doubled in size, and the ash devastated the ecosystem. Although the island is larger, it's unknown whether it will remain due to erosion, but so far it is still above sea level. So I took these facts up here, I put them into sentences, and so that is a skill. If you found that difficult, it is a skill. It's not just obvious. So if you did a great job, good work. Thanks for watching this 4th day of our 9th lesson.